Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to be making the fry bread that I've been promising everybody. I finally feel well enough to do it. I have Angelina here helping me film it because I don't think I could have done this one without somebody filming it for me. So what you're going to need is flour, vegetable oil, vegetable shortening, salt, and baking powder. I don't know how to do measurements, so I will put the measurements down in the description box because I don't use measuring cups for this, but I will try to put it into measuring cups for you guys. You need 4 handfuls of flour. So we got 1, 2, 3, maybe a little at 3. And 4. You'll have a little bit extra, but that's fine because you'll need it for the meeting later. Alright, and then you're going to need, I say it's about 2 tablespoons of the baking powder. Sorry, it's a messy recipe. And about that much salt. And I gotta get the warm water stay. Sorry about that, guys. And you'll need about 2 cups of warm water. You add the water a little bit as you go. That way you can figure out how much water you need. It's always better to start off with a little bit rather than pouring it all in there. And you just want to mix it around till the dough is soft. And you don't want to over mix the dough either because then it kind of makes your bread tough, makes the dough tough. And if you end up adding too much water, you can always add a little bit more flour. But this is just a bread that I grew up eating. A lot of natives make it their own way. Every family has their own way making it. Everybody does. This is just how I learned to make it. And then you're going to want to knead it for about 5 minutes until it doesn't stick to the bowl anymore. And I've already added too much water, so that's why I always put a little bit extra flour. And then after you knead it, you're going to cover it and let it sit to rise for about 30 minutes. And see, you just want to make it to where it doesn't stick to the sides anymore. And I got a little excess on my hands here, so. But I've been making this since I was little. My dad would always make it with me. And so I want to share it with you guys. Like I said, I'm not a pro at making fry bread by all means. It's just a family recipe, things that we've always made. But it's a fairly easy recipe. Okay, so when you're no longer sticking to the sides, you're going to go ahead and take it and leave it in a ball like that. Get a cloth and cover it for 30 minutes. And then we'll come back and we will make the balls and fry it. Be right back. Okay, guys, we're back. It's been 30 minutes, so our dough has risen. And in a frying pan, you're going to put your vegetable oil and about 2 big scoops of the vegetable shortening. My dad always used lard, but I'm not a big fan of lard. And I always use sunflower oil too, but I didn't know if a lot of you guys were going to be able to find it. So I just went ahead and used the vegetable oil. You want the oil to get hot, but you don't want it to be steaming. Not sure what that is. Okay. So while our oil is getting hot, you're going to take your dough and you're going to pinch off about that much, about the size of a baseball. And you're going to round it out like that. You can roll it out if you want. I've always used my hands if you want a better shape, but you just use your hands to work the dough. And you're going to want to make it about 8-10 inches big. It really depends on what size you want your bread, and you're just going to use your hands to work it and just stretch it out as you go, and just stretch and stretch and keep it going.
I'm sorry, I have allergies. I'm snuffy.
Oh, Angie has allergies today, and she is my camera woman. So if you hear sniffles, that's her back there. Poor thing. Like I said, just work your dough into a circle. And you stretch it, and stretch it, and stretch it. Don't overwork your dough. It's okay if you get little tears in it, because you want a little bit of the holes in it to prevent it from blowing up. When you're done, I usually just poke a hole in the middle, and it's kind of like pancakes. Your first one always comes like kind of cruddy. Well, mine do. Like I said, I'm not a pro at this. This is just something that I've always grown up making. You can also test your oil by taking a pinch of the dough, throw it in there.
Whoa.
If your oil isn't hot enough, your bread will get greasy, so you want to make sure that it's hot enough. I need to get a fork to turn it. But this is a really easy recipe and very diverse. You can do a lot of different things with it. Now the dough cooks fairly quick. You want it to be like maybe a minute on each side. You'll know when it's ready, when it's golden on the under. So we're going to go ahead and get it in there. It's about 1 to 2 minutes on each side. If you have a deep fryer and you do smaller ones, you could probably use a deep fryer. I've just always done it like this. Almost. Not quite yet. I probably could have got my oil a little bit hotter. But like I told you guys, this is my first cooking video, so thank you for everybody for being patient with me.
Mm. Would that be a good quesadilla?
You can put cheese on it. You can put just about any topping you want on it. Traditionally, I either use ground beef or ground bison and some homemade, or we make our own beans. A little bit of lettuce, a little bit of cheese. Some people like refried beans on it. You could be very creative. You can make desserts out of it. Yeah, the oil could have been a little bit hotter. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take this one out. Drain off your excess oil. And I just took a pan with a towel. You can use paper towels. But I'm just showing you, again, how I did it. So go ahead and grab another dough ball. Squeeze it. You're going to shape it. Flatten it out. And just start working it with your hands in a circle. Pulling it outward. I used to be faster at this, but I'm getting old. Work it with your hands a little. I have a cousin that is so good at this, it makes me look like I have no clue what I'm doing. Again, you don't mind the tears in it because it does help your bread not to expand in the pan when it hits the oil. So you get your little tear. Only cook it till you see the edges getting golden, and then you flip it. Almost. Now these two smaller ones that I'm making first, I'm gonna let Angie have them in a dessert style. You can put powdered sugar on them, honey, put a little bit of berries on them. You can drizzle chocolate on them if you want. It's really just to your tasting and what you like. But you just want it to be a golden brown. Try not to let your oil get to where it's steaming because you don't want it to burn. Angie claimed this one. She likes anything crunchy. Go ahead and drain your excess oil off. Like that. Let it drain. And now we're going to go ahead and make bigger ones that I like to use for tacos. So you're going to go ahead and pinch a bigger ball. That's a little too much.
What is this called again?
Fry bread.
I'm sorry. I forgot. My brain's not working right now.
Well, we don't sit there and say, oh, we're having fry bread for dinner. We just eat it.
I know. I'm just tired.
I know. Okay, so flatten it out with your hand.
It looks like you're making like one of those the clay things. When you do that, like when you do like the bases.
Yeah.
Like if you were doing that, it looked like you were making a plate.
Yeah.
Those smell really good.
They do smell really good.
You have to teach me.
This is a recipe that I do need to teach the girls. This has been handed down to me from my father. It was handed down to him from his mother. So it's just a little tradition we have. But do you see how this one's a lot bigger? It really depends on the size of the dough ball that you grab on how big your bread is going to be. Just work it. That's all I can really... Kind of like when people do the pizzas. If you roll them out, you can roll them out a 1/4 inch thick. Put your hole. I'm going to do a little bit bigger on this side. And see, the dough will naturally make a little bit of a lace, which is perfect. Go ahead and set this in our oil.
From the oil being there, does it present more heat?
Like what?
Like if the first one was like a little bit of heat, and then
Yes,
okay.
The first one shows you that the oil probably should have been hotter, and then as you notice, see how it's frying better?
Yeah.
That means you don't have to cook it as long, and that way your bread doesn't get oily.
Okay.
You don't want to leave it in too long because the bread will saturate the oil. So you just wanted this pretty golden color. See? You just drain off your excess. I'm going to go ahead and fry all of this dough here while I've got my oil hot. That might be a little too much. I'm getting too happy with it. Again, you got your ball. Flatten you out a little bit.
It does look like you're making pizza.
It's very similar to hand tossing your pizza. You just got to remember to take your thumb and work your dough out to the edges.
Like in a circle?
Like in a circle. And then you just keep stretching it out. And just keep going and going until you get the size that you want.
So now you're not doing any more small ones, just big ones?
Just going to do a couple big ones.
Okay.
And you see how your dough's getting thinner towards the middle. And you'll start getting your natural tears in the dough. you just put it in. And if it starts to bubble on you, you can always poke another hole in it.
It cooked really fast.
It does because the oil's hot, but you don't want it to where, like I told you, not where the oil is steaming.
Okay. Is that going to be the last one, or are we going to cut it in half?
I'll probably make 2 out of this one. We'll make 2
Okay.
little ones. And then you just drain your excess.
Making noise.
Just take and pinch it in half.
So you're supposed to be rough on it?
No, you don't want to be rough on it, but you need to start flattening it out and pulling it.
Or are you going to say I cut you off?
No, you're fine.
It looks like 2 eyes.
A little bit longer on that side. But you don't only have to eat these as native tacos. You can eat them when we make chili or beans or anything like that. We just tear it off and eat it that way. It's just really yummy. Go ahead and put that over there with that. And we got one more, guys. Okay, we're starting to get our natural tears already.
How's your morning been, Mom?
My morning's been good. How's your morning been?
Not that good, but it's starting to be good.
It's starting to be good. This is going to make you feel better, huh?
Mm-hmm.
The smaller ones, I don't care about how many holes you get because we just eat them like dessert anyways. So there's our last one. Go ahead and put this out of the way. See how it's already getting golden? Go ahead and turn off your oil, drain off your excess. And there's that. So we are going to take one and we're going to do the powdered sugar for Angie. This is how she likes it. Just take it and dust it on each side. I like mine with honey, but I don't get to have honey, but there is that one. You want to take a bite and taste it? Careful, it's hot. Do you want me to break you off a piece?
Yes, please.
Mmm.
Mmm.
Is that good?
Mm-hmm. Really good.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys like this video. Forgive me because it is our first cooking video and I'm not sure what I'm doing. But I've been promising you guys that I would make this, so I wanted to get it out there for you.